A prominent attorney, Ray Black, known for helping broker Jeffrey Epstein highly controversial 2008 plea deal with then U.S. Attorney Alex Acosta, he passed away. Roy Black, the high-profile attorney who played a key role in negotiation Jeffrey Epstein controversial 2008 plea deal with then U.S. Attorney Alex Acosta. He died at the age of 80 in Coral Gables, Florida. While his death at 80 could be entirely unrelated, the timing has raised eyebrows due to several major developments in just the past 24 hours. First, despite attempt by House Speaker Mike Johnson to block action, the House of Representatives issued a subpoena for Ghislaine Maxwell to testify. In response, Speaker Johnson abruptly placed the House into recess, stating it was to give Donald Trump time and space to deal with Epstein file and Maxwell situation. At the same time, Trump current Attorney General Pam Bondi and Deputy AG Todd Blanche, who previously served as Trump criminal defense attorney, announced publicly that they would be meeting directly with Maxwell. This follows Trump's recent firing of Maureen Comey, the lead prosecutor in the Epstein and Maxwell cases. Trump has repeatedly referred to the Epstein scandal as a hoax, blaming Comey's father for perpetrating it. Now, with Epstein, longtime attorney Roy Black suddenly passed away, the sequence of events feel loaded with implications. Of course, his death may be purely coincidental, but in the context of everything happening around the Epstein Maxwell saga, it's certainly notable. Roy Black, the prominent defense attorney known for representing high profile figures like Rush Limbaugh and Jeffrey Epstein, has passed away after a long and controversial career. As he reminded of his role in one of the most debated plea deals in recent legal history, here's a brief recap of what happened in the Epstein case. Let's roll the video.
The women were not consulted or allowed to weigh in on that decision, and their attorneys argue that's a violation of the Crime Victims' Right Act of 2004, pardon me. Now, Epstein's attorney, the well-known Roy Black, appeared in court, and he said the written negotiations between Epstein and the prosecution that resulted in that no charge should not be made public in this civil rights violation case.
You're here because these are important issues for the client. And I don't mean to make light of that, but these are important issues, both for crime victims, for defendants, for defense lawyers, for prosecutors. These are important things that the courts are going to have to wrestle with. Congress passed the statutes that have to be followed, and the court now is going to have to determine what are the contours of that.
And what we really want is for the victims to have fair rights in court. Everybody's always catering to the defendant, and before the defendant gets a sweetheart deal, maybe we can prevent some of that if the victims were given the rights that the legislature says they deserve.
Yesterday, during an all-office press conference alongside the president of Philippines, Donald Trump was asked about Jeffrey Epstein. His response, he brushed it off, saying he does not really follow that too much, and then abruptly shifted focus, claiming the real hoax people should pay attention to something he called Russia, blaming former President Obama for what he described as Russia cop. It was bizarre deflection. This is the same Trump who once openly said, Russia, if you are listening, find the email. He public action over the years speak volume. No sacred files required. No, he is exactly what Trump said. Take a listen.
Oh, I have no concern. He's a very talented person. He's very smart. I didn't know that they were going to do it. I don't really follow that too much. It's sort of a witch hunt, just a continuation of the witch hunt. The witch hunt that you should be talking about is they caught President Obama absolutely cold, Tulsi Gabbard. What they did to this country in 2016, starting in 2016, but going up to 2020 of the election. They tried to rig the election, and they got caught. And there should be very severe consequences for that.
In a bizarre all-office press conference with the president of Philippines, who, by the way, is the son of the former dictator responsible for thousands of deaths and disappearances between 1972 to 1981, Donald Trump went off script again. Instead of addressing Epson-related question, Trump praised the Philippine leader family, saying he was a big fan of his father, despite the dictator's brutal legacy. While the current president of Philippines has tried to distance himself from the past, Trump leaned right in. Then, without warning, Trump declared, "We found absolute proof, better than absolute proof, that Obama is a criminal. This is what you should focus on." Obama did it, Hillary Clinton did it, but did what exactly? The whole rant felt like a disparate, incoherent deflection. Whatever those Epson files contain about Trump, it's got to be something truly damning. Here's take a look at this clip.
But what we found is even more so. Now, we found absolute, this isn't like evidence this is like proof, irrefutable proof that Obama was seditious, that Obama was trying to lead a coup. And it was with Hillary Clinton, with all these other people, but Obama headed it up. And, I get a kick when I hear everyone talks about people I never even heard of. It was this one. No, it was Obama. He headed it up. And it says so right in the papers. Got everything. Got everything. This is the biggest scandal in the history of our country. And it really goes on to even the auto pen, because it all relates to the same thing. It all started the same sick minds. You have an auto pen, which is a tremendous, well, we don't have a president. We have an auto pen that signs everything. I'll bet you sign everything. You don't have auto pens.
What has already been revealed about Jeffrey Epstein is truly disturbing and damaging. The existing file from civil, criminal, and administrative cases are filled with horrifying details. Trump name appears multiple times in these documents, and not in an innocent way. For instance, one civil case claimed that a 14-year-old girl was brought to Mar-a-Lago by Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell. According to the filing, Epstein showed her to Trump and asked, "What do you think about this one?" Another victim, Maria Farmer, stated that she was in Epstein's office when Trump walked in. Farmer, who was wearing gym clothes, claimed Trump looked her up and down. She says Epstein then told Trump, No, that's not the one for you. Go into the other room." Additionally, a now deceased former Mar-a-Lago spa employee, Virginia Jeffrey, who was a teenager at the time, was allegedly identified and sex trafficked by Epstein and Maxwell. She had been homeless before getting the job. In 1997, the Sunday Mirror in the UK published an article calling Maxwell Madam Maxwell and reported that she would present young girls and women to Trump. Look, Donald Trump's name is all over Epstein flight logos. Epstein was also on Trump's private jets. According to Epstein's own brothers, Mark Epstein, the two were close friends. Trump visited Epstein's office frequently. Michelle Wolf, a journalist and potential Epstein biographer, claimed that Epstein once told him he and Trump were best of friends. Wolf also said Epstein showed him disturbing photographs, images of Trump with a visible crotch stain, surrounded by naked girls of intermediate age sitting on his lap. We also know Trump and Epstein hosted private parties at Mar-a-Lago, where they reportedly brought in dozens of young women, often from the beauty pageants Trump ran, just for themselves. I have shown you unearthed footage from those events, one particularly revealing account from Uncle Lucky of the Bound 2 Live crew who attended one of these gatherings alongside Eddie Murphy and Mike Tyson. And keep in mind, this is someone known for outrageous 1990s parties. Yet even he said what he witnessed at Mar-a-Lago was too much. He, save underage girls, described the scene as something out of Eyes Wide Shut and said he had to leave. So, if this is what already public, imagine what's still hidden. We know Trump is listed as DOE, 174 in sealed documents, and there are reportedly 300 gigabytes of unreleased material. That's why the demand is simple: release the file. Pam Bondi cannot keep stonewalling forever. I have been in direct communication with Maxwell, legal counsel, to see if she is willing to speak. I expect to meet with Miss Maxwell in the coming days. Wait, why on earth is our Attorney General meeting with Ghislaine Maxwell? And why is Congress suddenly shut down its business to protect Donald Trump from exposure? Meanwhile, Democratic Congressman Robert Garcia and new ranking member of the Oversight Committee is pushing back. He's made it clear we are not letting the action file go. We are going to keep talking about them until the truth is fully released. Now play this clip.
He's hoping, I guess, that he will outlast everyone through August. Do you think he can?
Absolutely not. In fact, we're going to keep talking about the Epstein files until Donald Trump releases them. What's happening right now is the American public are seeing that Donald Trump has betrayed them. He's broken their trust. He ran on the Epstein files, the key part of his campaign. The MAGA world did as well. His family talked about it constantly. Don Jr. tweeted about it dozens of times. They have been focused on the release to the public and to build goodwill among his base. He is now completely reversed on that. And if Donald Trump or Mike Johnson think Democrats are just going to roll over and allow that to happen, they are highly mistaken.
And here's Congressman Gracie again, this time emphasizing how the action files and Donald Trump's effort to suppress them offer a window into how Trump handles cover-ups in general. It's not just about action, it's a pattern. Play this clip.
Democrats, yes, we need to focus on healthcare. Yes, we need to focus on tax breaks for the rich, which we oppose. But this is about corruption. At the end of the day, this leans into Americans understanding that Donald Trump is corrupt. He's not for you. He will lie to you. He will betray you. And he's only in it to save himself. And that's what this moment's about.
All right. Now we are also seeing new reporting coming in from CNN. CNN has just released more exclusive video footage and photo showing Donald Trump partying with Jeffrey Epstein. There's a quite bit of new material, and we'll be covering that in detail in a separate video. Along with this update on Ghislaine Maxwell reportedly fearing for her life. But for now, let's turn to the latest polling data on Donald Trump. According to the latest YouGov poll, Donald Trump unfavorable rating among 18 to 29 years old has soared to 70%, and only 30% viewing him favorably. Overall, Trump's national unfavorability rating stands at least 56%. If you check the YouGov graph showing how Americans view Donald Trump's handling of inflation, his approval is underwater by a staggering 29-point margin. It's a sharp and significant negative rating. Visually, the graph resembles a crashing meme coin, just a step down award a separate. And by the way, even among white Americans, Trump's traditional stronghold, his support has taken a hit. Back when he had 61% approval rating with white voters, he could count on them as reliable base. But as of July 18, 2025, the number has dropped a straight split: 50% approve, 50% disapprove. A significant shift among moderates are steering 66% disapprove of Trump. And honestly, just look at how distinguished and observed he's become. Yesterday, he gave a speech to the Republican congressional delegation after they abruptly shut down Congress. During the speech, Trump said, "Here's what we are doing for prescription during crisis. Here's what you need to tell the American people." Then he rattled off, "We are lowering price by 1000%, 600%, 1500%, 100%. That would mean the medication is free and you are getting paid to take it." He clearly does not grasp basic maths. Here's watch the clip.
And this is for the people in this room, because this is something that nobody else can do. we're going to get the drug prices down, not 30 or 40%, which would be great, not 50 or 60. No, we're going to get them down 1,000%, 600%, 500%, 1,500%, numbers that are not even thought to be achievable because I've used a certain talent that I have and convinced the drug companies that you have no choice.
How is that not immediately disqualifying? And then, during that same meeting with congressional Republicans, Donald Trump actually told them anytime Democrats, reporter, or even your constituents bringing up that other topic, clearly referring to absent, just say Obama, blame Obama, excuse Obama of crimes. That's literally his strategy. Deflect the distract. Here's he is saying in his own words. Let's roll the clip.
Obama cheated on the election. And we have it cold, hard, blue, and it's getting even more so because the stuff that's coming in is not even believable. So, and you should mention that every time they give you a question that's not appropriate, just say, oh, by the way, Obama cheated on the election. You'll watch the camera turn off instantly.
And finally, a new report has just been released by Goldman Sachs. The US economy is now entering phase of noticeably slower growth, driven in large part by the impact of tariffs, leading to rising inflation and declining consumer spending. As I have mentioned before, there are multiple economic flashpoints scattered across the country, and any one of them could trigger a triple effect with serious sequences. Before we wrap up, it's important to note that former President Obama has responded to Donald Trump's latest accusations. Trump recently called for Obama's arrest, labeling him treasonous over a completely fabricated story from 2016. Here's how Obama responded. Statement from President Obama's office. Out of respect from the office of the presidency, we typically do not respond to the constant stream of misinformation coming from this White House. However, we latest claims are so outrageous they warrant a response. These bizarre accusations are baseless and appear to be nothing more than a desperate attempt to distract. The document released last week does nothing to challenge the well established conclusion that Russia interacted in 2016 election. Thought it did not alter any vote. This conclusion was also reaffirmed in a bipartisan 2020 Senate Intelligence Committee report led by then Chairman Marco Rubio. Rubio himself stood behind those findings. Now, while I agree with most of what Presidential Obama team said, I have to respectfully disagree with one part. The idea that not responding to Trump's constant lies is the best course of action. I understand the desire not to dignify falsehood, but when disinformation spread unchecked, especially in our current media climate, it risks becoming accepted as truth, in my opinion. Every time Trump pushes out false narratives, there need to be an immediate and direct response. I would personally like to see President Obama speaking out more often. When he does, he is incredibly effective. But we cannot afford to only hear from him once or twice a year, especially not just in October before an election. I get that he is a former president and has earned a quieter life, and traditionally, former presidents do not stay in the ferry. But these are not transitional times. We need voices like his own on his offensive, constantly pushing back against disinformation. I say this is a someone who deeply admires President Obama. I just believe his leadership and clarity are needed now more than ever.